Hi guys. Believe it or not, this is Kellyanne Novak. What you see before you is results of E. coli, Salmonella, Gastroenteritis, and a severe kidney infection with issues with kidney stones. And the reason that I'm here today is that I need to tell you my story. I know that most of you that are fitness enthusiasts, and you think about it, you're carrying around your water bottle, right? You got your Sippy bottle with your Sippy straw, and you're always drinking it, right? How many times have you cleaned up underneath where the straw goes? How many times have you thought of cleaning that out up underneath where the rubber meets? Well, I thought I was cleaning my bottle good enough, but I wasn't. What had happened is that because I had so much, I was always putting food in my drink, in my water bottle. I had this big jug. And I would fill the water bottle. I would fill the water bottle, and I'd put fruit in it, like berries and lemons. And there were times where all I'd do was just, when I ran out of water, I would dump out the used berries and lemons and rinse out the jug and rinse out the bottle. But did I clean it? No. And what happened is I ended up getting very, very, very tired one day. About 2 months ago, I started to get very tired. I found myself not having any energy to do my workouts like I used to, and I wasn't feeling like myself. Because I didn't have insurance, I failed to go and get diagnosed with the kidney stones that I already had. The kidney stones had developed, but little did I know that E. coli and Salmonella was waiting in the wings. When I went in, I'm going to back up. When I started having these little twinges of pain, it started in my back, around my lower back, right around my kidney area. And then it wrapped around my belly and all the way up into my solar plexus. I began to get nauseated every time I tried to think about food. And I started to lose weight. As you can see, I do not look like Kellyanne Novak right now. I'm about 115 pounds, and I'm thinner than I've ever been in my life. My body is very unhealthy right now. I was hospitalized for 8 days. Luckily for me, they were able to do a stool sample while I was in the hospital and find the E. coli and the Salmonella that was hiding in my stool. The thing is that if I hadn't been admitted into the hospital for severe low white blood cell count, if I hadn't been admitted in for the excruciating pain I felt, then I might have been sent home with unknown source of pain, because it doesn't show up in your blood, and it doesn't show up in your urine. It shows up in your feces. It shows up in your stool. And unfortunately, there have been many cases that I have read about of unknown origin of E. coli and Salmonella among fitness enthusiasts. As I did my research, I realized that all the symptoms that I was having, or that I had during this incredible, painful journey that I've been on, I discovered that I not only started with the tiredness, then I started getting the twinges that turned into more than twinges. They turned into painful cramps from time to time. And one night, almost a month ago, my daughter-in-law, I was still here in Vegas, and I called her. I told her I was in excruciating pain, that I had bloody diarrhea, and I was throwing up. And I couldn't stop it. It was just nonstop. It was constant. It was the worst pain ever that you can even imagine, or I thought. I thought that was the worst pain I ever had. But it wasn't the worst pain I ever had. The worst pain I ever had was the gastroenteritis due to the E. coli Salmonella. So many people are misdiagnosed because they don't have the proper tests. I've done my research, folks. They don't have the proper tests because they were going to send me home that night. They couldn't explain the pain in my gut because it didn't show up. It didn't show up on the scan. It didn't show up in my blood. It didn't show up in my urine. All the other issues showed up, but not the E. coli and the Salmonella. No, that showed up when they did a stool sample. So thank God. Because my doctor told me that if I hadn't gotten there when I did, I would be dead right now. And he was very serious. I had gastroenteritis. I had septicemia. In other words, I had septic blood. I didn't have the septicemia like most people would think. I had a blood infection that they could not understand where the origin was. They didn't know where it came from. It says it on my paperwork. Unknown origin. So the reason I'm coming here today is to tell you what I believe happened to me. And you can take it for whatever it's worth. You look at me. Do I look like Kellyanne Novak right now? I am a shell of who I used to be. And it's going to take me a long time to rebuild and put myself back together again. So the reason I'm doing this video is to tell you people that if I had not come home after... See, last night, I'm gonna tell you, last night, I went to emergency again because I had excruciating pain in my gut. Terrible pain in my gut. Luckily for me, when I went to the hospital and they did all the tests and everything came back negative. But luckily for me, when they did that scan, the CT scan with the barium, or whatever it is that they need to drink, that's when they found I was all backed up with stool. So in other words, severe constipation from all the medication from the hospital and everything else. But the reason I'm telling you this is this. It gave me peace of mind knowing that everything else was taken care of. But I knew that somehow I got that salmonella. And I know it didn't come from the infection in my kidneys. I know it didn't come from my bladder. I know it didn't come from the stones because it doesn't say that in my paperwork. Unknown origin. Okay? I came home. Now that I knew I was clear of everything, right? From all their tests, I was clear. So I went and I grabbed my water bottle and I'm going to fill my water bottle, and all of a sudden something told me, look underneath the lid. So I looked under the lid, and it's the type of water bottle that has the straw attached, right? How many of you have these water bottles and don't take that straw out and don't clean underneath that straw and don't clean underneath that area. Every single time you use it. I thought just putting it through the dishwasher was good enough, but no. No, it wasn't good enough. There was bacteria growing underneath in that area. I see this black goo. At first, when I first saw it, I thought it was just the seal, where the seal was. So I poked it with a butter knife, and do you know what it did? It stuck to my butter knife. This black, icky, nasty goo that was trapped underneath the rubber, underneath the plastic where your straw goes into the straw hole. That's where it was. When I saw that, I took that bottle and I threw it away. And I threw all my sip bottles away. Because you can't get them clean enough, people. I read so many articles about unexplained deaths due to E. coli, gastroenteritis, and septic blood. Unknown origin. And 90% of those were people that were in the fitness field. I'm sharing this with you because I don't want to ever go through this again, and I don't want you to ever go through this either. This is one of the worst experiences of my life. But it's not one I'm soon going to forget. And the reason I'm doing this, looking the way I do, is so that you get it. Please get it. I almost lost my life because of just not cleaning my bottle good enough. Now, whether I can prove this or not, that's not here nor there, but I know it because I feel it. I knew it the minute I picked up that water bottle that there was danger there, but I didn't know where it was until I lifted that lid. You couldn't see it until you moved the straw. And then you see it. It was from all the fruit I'd used in it, the lemons I'd used in it and left it overnight. Didn't clean it out properly. I thought I did, but I didn't, obviously. So I'm here to warn you. Don't use those sippy bottles and those sippy cups for your babies. Because those sippy cups are just as dangerous and they're just as hard to clean as our water bottles for us fitness people. I come to you now and I tell you this. Read my articles. Read my articles and see for yourself. Because I'm not going to let this go. I'm writing articles about it. I'm going to write an article about it and send it to the medical board. I'm going to get the word out about these bottles. And whether anybody believes me or not, that's your choice. Look at me. Look at me. I am a shell of me. But I'm damn lucky to be alive. So please listen to what I have to say. If you start getting twinges of pain in your gut, go to the doctor, please, and give them a stool sample. Don't be embarrassed about going to the doctor for aches and pains that you don't understand. Don't be afraid. What kept me from that hospital was the fear of not knowing what it was and of the fact that just maybe I was wrong. Just maybe it was something I ate, which it was. There's all sorts of food poisoning out there. But this one was the most deadly, because this one went into gastroenteritis. And once it does that, it's pretty hard to fight. I'm grateful to Summerlin Hospital, because they're the ones that found it. They're the ones that found what was wrong with me. They're the ones that helped me. They're the ones that have nursed me back to health. Without being in that hospital for those 8 days, I wouldn't be here right now. They would have sent me home, and I would have died within a week. That's what I've read about. That's what I've explored. So listen to me. And take care of yourself. And listen to your body. Because your body will tell you when something's wrong. And when you don't feel right, insurance or not, you go to that doctor. And you find out what's wrong. And if they come back with information saying, oh, we don't see anything, try again. It's not in the blood. It doesn't show up in the blood until it's to the point of killing you. It doesn't show up in the blood. It shows up in the stool. It doesn't show up in your pee either. But luckily for me, my white blood cells were so low that that's why they kept me. It was going to kill me. So, this is Kellyanne Novak, sending you a very, very important message. And remember, your sippy cups and your sippy bottles can kill you if they're not cleaned properly. Trust me on this, because I'm telling you right now, I'm going to show you. Do you see that? Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I'm supposed to turn it up this way. There it is. You see that? That's what I have. Right there. Do you see that? I'm trying really hard to show you this, but for some weird reason, it's backwards. I don't know why. Anyway, what it says is this. It says sepsis, okay? It says sepsis, gastroenteritis, septicemia due to gram-negative organism, okay? That's the E. coli and the Salmonella. Sepsis-associated organ dysfunction. That's where my kidneys were shutting down. They'd had enough. Unspecified abdominal pain. Now, here's what we're seeing here. They did not know what caused it. And they did not know it was E. coli and Salmonella until I was admitted in the hospital. So don't let this happen to you, you guys. And listen to me. I love you all. And I'm getting back on my feet, you'll see. And I'll be back to being me again. But I wanted you to see me how I am now. As horrible as I look, I had to let you know how serious this really is. Bye, guys. Stay well.